Hey YouTube! Hello subscribers! Thanks for joining me once again. Today's video is going to be a music review. Haven't really been in the mood for metal that much lately. A lot of my listening has been consumed by the album that I'm about to talk to you about. But I guess what brought on the effectiveness of this album taking my attention so surprisingly is just the dark fucking times that we've been living in. Last weekend, the weather here was great. It was 78 degrees in Iowa here, February 20th or something like that. It's supposed to be like maybe 10 below degrees or something. And while it was nice to get outside and do some work in the yard and kind of prepare for the gardening in spring, it's just fucking unbelievable that someone in our in office wants to do away with the EPA, and there's so many people who we are electing to our government who think that global warming is just a hoax, yada yada yada, etc., etc. But I don't know, it's just the shit that's been bearing down on my mind lately. And I don't know, you go through these phases where anger is what you reach for in music to compensate for what you're feeling about this or that. But then you go through a phase where it's just exasperating and depressing. And so I guess that's where I was at when this album found its way to my ears. This album is out on a pretty interesting label that I'm getting more and more familiar with. It's run by a good friend of mine, Dustin, who I've known for about 15 years. He is in the band Enbilulugugal, if you're familiar with that. But anyways, he's been doing this label for a couple of years now on his own, and it's really amazing. It's called Death Roots Syndicate, and it's a free label where all of the releases are digital only and free to distribute, download, consume, whatever you want to do. And he's been putting out a lot of stuff over the years, and the quality of it seems to just be like ramping up. I'm not able to keep up with every single one of them. It's been 56 releases up to this point right now, but as far as I've seen, the stuff that he puts out is really interesting. I guess the idea behind starting the label was to put out stuff that was just kind of like more morbid folk, or more of a kind of dark blues kind of stuff. Stuff like, I guess, Those Poor Bastards would be maybe a big name in the genre that this label is promoting. But anyways, the stuff that he's been releasing has really branched out into a wide variety of strange and interesting and challenging music, I gotta say. Uncle Pissfoot's Medicine Show is one that I really like. But this one just came up on his YouTube account the other day, and I just happened to check on it, and instantly, this album, by the way, the album that we're listening to and that I'm telling you about is So Ready to Close My Eyes by a solo project out of Pennsylvania called The Last Surrealist. So before I get into it, you can download this for free in the link down below. And as far as I know, I can't find a way to pay for the album. So if this sounds interesting to you at all, give it a chance, give it a listen. It's on YouTube, Bandcamp, and archive.org for so many different ways to consume it. And I highly recommend doing it. It's been a really welcomed addition to my listening over the course of the week. It's been pretty much all I've listened to. This and like Falkenbach has been really all I've listened to this week. But anyways, it kind of reminds me a lot of Ingowan Ring or Sul Invictus, Current 93 a little bit at times. But then it also it's kind of futuristic in a way. Like, as you can hear now, there's kind of like some IDM instrumentation going on, which kind of reminds me of Portishead. So this actually kind of steps away, I guess, from the Death Roots genre that this label is promoting. But regardless of that fact, it's just really cool to see this label having an eclectic taste, putting out music for free. Non-profit label. It's kind of an interesting format, and I really like to see where it's going from here. But this album is just super haunting. The production is just super impressive. Everything is so well mixed and spread out nice. All the tones are really clean and great. I'm just really not sure. This sounds like a big time album to me in a way. So I wouldn't be surprised if somehow this takes off and a lot of people are listening to it. It kind of has a couple of parallels, I would say, to the album I reviewed in my last video, which was Emptiness's the No Music, I want to say. Haunting vocals, kind of like spoken vocals or whispery, sort of ethereal sort of vocals throughout the album. There's a little bit of more melodic singing in the album, and there's even some occasional black metal sort of rasps, but they're like so distant, way in the background, and they're just cloaked in delay that they're not really like an abrasive or intense element to the album. It's really a subtle, ethereal, and haunting album. The only thing that's intense about it, and I think really this is kind of where it's effective to being appreciated to a metalhead, is that it's really intense emotionally. And I wouldn't say like I'm all depressed of a guy or anything. It's not really tugging at my heartstrings all that much, but I seem like I can sympathize with what's going into this album in a way. And I guess that's just a lot of what I like about music that's like this, that's super dark. You can identify a little bit, and you're trying to identify with what the artist is trying to portray metaphorically or realistically in these songs. My favorite song on it, if you want to check out just one song, is I Just Want to Be Loved. Super great song. The album really does have some pretty great song structures. You know, with this kind of music, I find it seems like it's so sparse and minimal that any sort of song structure kind of falls by the wayside and kind of turns into a more experimental sort of thing. And that's kind of where I get lost with this kind of music sometimes. And so I really appreciate that this album has a penchant for song structure, having choruses and bridges and repeated choruses that I really like and kind of are the highlight of the songs, where there's a refrain to go between the choruses. And there's a couple songs that just really hit that mark for me so well, which just makes the whole album a great listen through and through. So I don't know, I guess this is kind of a short review, but I can't really think of much more to say about it other than I highly recommend checking this out for something a little different. I'm going to be listening to this for quite a while, I think. So check out Deathroot Syndicate if you have a chance. I'm going to put all the links down below, as I do in all my videos. So thanks for watching, and hope you have a good week.